Well, it's dark. Today's been mad, and I know I look crazy, and I've battered my head. Today was meant to take me about 2 or 3 more days to get to Corycia. It's taken me 1 day. The wind's been behind me. It's been mad, and I've been trying to take it easy, and I couldn't because the wind was just mad. And then I get to Corycia, and I phone up the people. Saldo runs out of my phone to get in the marina, so I can't get in the marina. Martin tried to phone them up, and he phoned them up, but then the guy says, "Oh, he's not going to come out in the dinghy to get me." So I've basically what I'm doing is I'm racing around in the Corycia Bay because now the wind's high, and I thought I'd go back out to sea, and Corycia won't let me. So going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, racing. And yes, I'm really manic, as you can probably tell. But you know, sometimes you have to make the best of things, because basically I thought I was going to die. Anyway, I won't. Everything's going to be fine. Ciao. Well, that was all a bit melodramatic, wasn't it? So what happened there? Well, if you'd watched the videos, you'd realise that for about 3.5 weeks I was at sea, and I'd had maybe 6 or 7 gales interspersed with calms, and I'd had 2 major storms. And on the last storm is when I got all the damage to Corycia, a master boom, Genoa sail was destroyed, and the tiller mounts, the supports, the metal stainless steel, were cracked. Now it took me about 7 days to get back to port, and the last 3 days I didn't have any sleep at all, and the last 2 days I couldn't take my hand off the tiller, basically. And on the last day, I mean, it was meant to take me 2 days to get from, say, the east coast of Mallorca to the northwest coast, and I did it in less than a day, because the wind whipped up, and the sea was behind me, following me, and the waves were getting bigger and bigger and bigger all the time. And by the time I got to Corycia, the Bay of Corycia, where I was going to go into the marina, the wind had whipped up so hard that I couldn't heave to, and I couldn't turn around to reef the sails, and so I just dropped the mainsail, and then I turned into the bay, and the wind hit me beam on, and nearly blew me over. Then the wind died, and as I was being drifted towards the rocks, I have to hoist the sails again, and I was about 500 meters from what I thought was safety and the marina, and I phoned them. Yes, sometimes technology is good. So I phoned them, and before I could actually tell them that I was there, the phone went dead, and I'd ran out of credit. So I panicked a little bit. The email was still working, and so I emailed some people to try and get them to help me. My good friend Martin was the one who answered me, and he phoned up the marina for me, and the marina phoned me, and then told me that they couldn't come out and get me. It was against their new rules. Remember, I haven't got an engine, I couldn't get into the marina. So it was about 6:30 at night, and they told me that if I contacted them again the next day, then maybe they'd sort something out. So I had to spend that whole evening going backwards and forwards up in Corycia Bay, and I was the most tired I'd ever been. And I started to drop off to sleep, you know, when you do that and all do that, and I thought I was only dropping off and waking up again, but I wasn't, because the first time I realized that, I was about 100 meters from houses, so I was right next to the shore, and I managed to turn away. But the second time, I don't know how long I dropped off to sleep for, but when I woke up and I looked to starboard, and there was these low-lying rocks, maybe 5 meters away, and I was drifting closer to them, and there's nothing I could do. There was no wind, and the the sails were flogging. Basically, yeah, that's when I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to smash against the rocks. I was thinking about jumping off, but I realised that if I just jumped off there and then, Corycia might just crash onto me. So what I remember is the only thing I was really worried about was, number one, I hadn't said goodbye to everybody, and number two, I was upset with myself that I'd got all that way back with all of that damage to Corycia, and I was going to die on the rocks in Corycia Bay. I felt embarrassed. That was the thing, I felt a bit embarrassed. So there I was, and Corycia actually scraped against the rock, and then the sails flogged and got a bit of wind. I turned as hard as I could, but I had to be careful because the tiller was snapped, and yeah, she sailed off the rocks. Obviously, I'm here. I spent the rest of that night going backwards and forwards, trying not to drop off anymore, to sleep. I'd already been given confidence by Martin. He had confidence I could do it. And then Laura had actually phoned me, and she told me I could do it. And so I kept on going, backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And then at about 6 in the morning, I got a phone call from the marina saying that the people were going to come in at 8 o'clock, and that they would phone me then. So I tried to get closer to the marina, but there's lots of rocks near Bonaire Marina. And about 8 o'clock they phoned me, and they said, we can't come out and get you. And by then I was shattered. And I suppose I gave up in a way. And I said to them, I said, okay, can you please call the lifeguard or Coast Guard or somebody to come and get me, because I can't get in, I can't sail into the marina. The tiller's not working, the sails are broken, the mast is messed. I mean, all of the story. No engine, no outboard. And the guy, Tony's name is, he says, you can do it. He knew me from the last time I was there. He says, you can do it. He says, we'll be waiting at the marina entrance for you in a dinghy. And I was like, I can't. I just didn't think I could do it. But I tried. And I got closer and closer. But the wind wasn't, I just couldn't get there. And you know what? He came out, him and this young lad, they came out a couple of 100 meters and tied me up and took me in. And yeah. So that's why you got that little video just before. That was just after I'd sailed off the rocks, and I was freaking out. More of relief. I don't really know. Actually, it's really strange. I can't say I'm afraid of death because I believe in God. I'm not scared of death. It was the embarrassment. It was my ego. I was embarrassed that that I was going to hit the rocks in Corycia, and also because I couldn't say goodbye to everybody. So anyway, so I made it, and here I am. Now I had to, into port, so I'm into debt, and so here I am in my workplace, working to pay off the debts. And I'll keep you a bit more posted on that if you're interested. Fair winds.